Here are 5 winners from Minnesota Vikings' loss to the San Francisco 49ers. All right, welcome back to Onebar and Lupagus Show. I'm Lupagus. Minnesota Vikings drop another preseason game, losing to the San Francisco 49ers 17-7. Not an exciting game, but there were some winners from that game, and we are going to talk about them. Before we do, remember to subscribe to the channel, like the vids, drop hashtag 7500 in the comments for your chance to win Madden, the newest version of Madden. We're going to give it out when we hit 7,500 subscribers, and if you win that thing, if you drop hashtag 7,500 in the comments, get drawn, you will win Madden. You have to be a subscriber to win. Also, don't forget to join up for our Patreon channel as well. All right, so Minnesota Vikings lose to the San Francisco 49ers, who they practiced against and pretty much kicked ass this week. But they lose the game, and they lose 17-7. But there was, it was a tough game to watch. It was offensively, it was brutal. Defensively, the defense was on the field a lot this game, but there were some guys who definitely stepped up and played well. So let's start on the, I don't say on the bottom. Let's start with the guy who doesn't get a lot of recognition, a guy who has actually quietly had a pretty good camp and a pretty good preseason. It's the backup center, Austin Schlottmann. Chris Reed did not play again. And Schlottmann, he's out there. You don't know he's out there because he's not doing anything wrong. He's not getting blown up, not getting flagged. This dude is playing pretty solid. And I think I got to give D. Garcia credit for this one. He brought it up on our live post-game that Schlottmann is playing well. And I wouldn't be surprised at this point if Austin Schlottmann actually makes the 53-man roster. Again, he's doing everything right. And the fact you're not hearing him, not knowing that he's out there, is only a good sign when you're an interior offensive lineman. So well done, Austin Schlottmann. Let's stay on offense because really the offense was brutal, but there was a couple bright spots. And I guess Nick Muse, the 4th-string tight end, the 7th-round pick, he did catch 3 balls for 29 yards. In fact, he caught them is the difference. You saw his counterpart, his teammate, his position mate, Zach Davidson, have some pretty tough drops. The one would have been a huge gainer, would have been a game changer. It went right off his chest. But Nick Muse was solid. Nick Muse, a guy we haven't heard much out of camp this year, not much really at all. And the fact he showed up today, showed solid hands. He played well. We got to give Nick Muse credit. We all know about his pitcher. We plastered that thing all over our channel plenty of times. But Nick Muse stood up and rose to the occasion and played well. So good for Nick Muse. 3 catches for 29 yards. Will he make the team? Probably not, but could be a practice squatter this year. Let's go to another rookie cornerback, Caleb Evans. This guy's got an extended amount of time today. For some reason, Perry Nickerson didn't play. Chris Boyd didn't play. They weren't on the list of like 25 guys who weren't active, but didn't see those guys out there. But Caleb Evans got a long look. He played almost the entire game, had 10 tackles, a tackle for a loss. This guy was all over the field, making plays, coming up, laying the hit. And the 10 tackle shows this guy can wrap up. He's a solid tackler. And I think Kwesi may have been right about this guy moving back up in the 4th round to get him. May have been the right move. Caleb Evans, I think we're going to see him quite a bit this year, giving some of the starters some rest and getting a fair share of work. So Caleb Evans overall had a very, very solid game. Definitely a winner from this one. Let's go to another guy on the defensive side of the football. Let's go with a guy who I think needs to get more buzz. We need to put the spotlight on this guy because he's kind of the Austin Schlottmann of the defense. He's having a very, very solid camp, solid preseason. It's Patrick Jones. This guy is creating pressure. He's in the backfield. He's being a menace. Maybe he's not the one always making the play, but his pressure is creating the plays that are made. And Patrick Jones really stepping up here in year 2. He may be the Vikings breakout player of 2022. Today he had 4 tackles, half a sack. When he's out there with the T.Y. Mcgill, those guys, they're feeding off each other. And then they're playing well, and they're making plays, and they're making it tough for the Niners to move the ball and to put points on the board today. And Patrick Jones, his pass rushes, he's quick off that football, good bend to him, nice long arms. Patrick Jones had a great game, and he's really had a good game last week, and he's had a solid camp. So Patrick Jones is going to have a role in this team, and a pretty big one, I think, on this defense, giving some rest Darius Smith, and Daniel Hunter. Let's go with the last winner from the loss to the Niners. It's T.Y. Mcgill. I already mentioned him. The dude is playing out of his head right now, just trying to get a roster spot, I suppose. But 5 tackles, 1.5 sacks. He's got 3.5 sacks on the preseason. Tackle for a loss. Just his explosion off the line is so impressive. He fights. He battles through blocks, closes in on quarterbacks very, very quickly. He had a couple of near sacks as well tonight. T.Y. Mcgill, this guy doesn't make this team. I will eat this hat. Is actually a Liftbridge hat. Check that out. But yeah, he's having a great camp and a great preseason, and he deserves a spot on this team. And I know just because he's having a good preseason doesn't guarantee anything. The Vikings could just choose to go with the younger guy, but T.Y. Mcgill has earned it. He has played well, and he was easily the best Viking, the biggest winner from this game. He played the best. He was the best defender on the field. He was a beast. He just could not be stopped. Constant pressure, collapse in the pocket. He was a menace to the Niners, and T.Y. Mcgill should feel good about what he did today against the San Francisco 49ers. And the Vikings overall didn't look super impressive. But again, when you have 20 guys not playing, that happens. So those are my five biggest winners from the Vikings loss to the Niners. Let me know if you have any other winners you want to drop in the comments. A couple other guys could probably qualify. Again, drop hashtag 7500 in the comments for trying to win Madden. And always, always keep your skull in your hole.